It was alarming, and I just saw terror on people's faces.
An argument escalates and multiple people start shooting in downtown Seattle.
And then all of a sudden just shots rang out, about 10 to 15 shots.
I'm still kind of confused. I've just seen multiple people on the ground.
The shooting has turned deadly as several victims now fight for their lives. People are trying to make sense of it all.
This is America, bro. We go to the moon. We do incredible things. We can't solve this problem.
Now on King 5 News, the chaos during the commute as bullets flew and people scrambled. And the investigation as police try to figure out why this happened. We begin with breaking news tonight. One person is dead, 7 others injured in that shooting in downtown Seattle right at the peak of the evening commute. Right now, Seattle police are still looking for the people responsible. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Mark Wright.
I'm Joyce Taylor. Police say this all started with an argument near Westlake Center in downtown Seattle.
This was not a random incident. There were multiple people involved. There was a dispute that happened in front of the McDonald's. People pulled out guns, shots rang out, people ran in various directions, and as you know, we had multiple people that were injured.
We have team coverage for you tonight with an update on those victims, the youngest just 9 years old. You'll also hear from people who saw it all unfold. We go first to King 5's Michael Crow, who was just blocks away when the shooting started. And Michael, you actually heard this as it was happening.
Right, we heard the shots just from down the road, and it's really hard to express now that it's calm and the road is reopened just a few minutes ago, just how chaotic the scene was here. We're talking dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands of commuters passing through this area, dozens of cop cars completely filling this street as police try to sort out who was a victim, who was a commuter, who could be a possible suspect. Just chaos here for an hour at least this evening. We are still searching for a suspect tonight. Police are searching for that suspect, and they don't have much of a description. But the good news is Chief Carmen Best told us they believe because this was an altercation that boiled over, that there is not a danger to the public tonight. Police converged on a shooting scene downtown, and cameras followed. Then, just down the road, what was past became present. Another shooting on a busy downtown intersection, 3rd and Pine, at the height of rush hour.
I was over there by Starbucks and I just heard like 7 shots go off out of nowhere, and it was really random. I didn't get to see who did it. I just see a bunch of people running that way down the street.
There's a lot of people around here. It's crazy.
A chaotic scene, multiple people shot, officers trying to sort commuters from victims from possible suspects.
Let's move, come on. Keep going.
So all of a sudden, we just heard pop, 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 a bunch of gunshots, and everyone was just sort of stunned.
Alex Bennett is a former nurse and ran to help.
And he was crying because it hurt. And he was like, I don't want to die, I don't want to die. And I just told him, like, you're not going to die, you're going to be okay.
I saw people running and ducking, and I looked at the body going down.
Douglas Converse ran too to find police in the Link station.
I'm fine. It's upsetting, you know, that was really close. So, but I feel fine, you know.
Glad to be one of the lucky ones tonight.
I wish I could have been more help.
And now the investigation continues, with not much to go on for a suspect description.
I don't see any future danger to the public. We've locked down the scene. There's no active shooting going on at this point.
But police are confident that though past became present, it will not be the future.
This is crazy.
And again, just chaos out here earlier tonight. The good news is Pine has reopened, 3rd has reopened in preparation for the morning commute tomorrow. But that is the corner right there where we saw people rendering first aid to several shooting victims just a few hours ago tonight. So again, we do not have a suspect description that we can tell you at this hour from police, but they are looking for video or photo evidence. We have a link on how you can submit that to share it with police or Crime Stoppers on our website, king5.com. Live in Seattle, I'm Michael Crow, King 5 News.
Michael, thank you. You've been there nonstop since it happened. Great job today. Thanks for your effort. Meantime, Seattle's Mayor Jenny Durkan released a statement about the shooting, saying in part, quote, no one should face such violence and it impacts all of us when it occurs in the heart of our city, adding she is grateful to Seattle police and fire departments for responding so quickly. That from Seattle's mayor. Well, as Michael mentioned, there are a number of victims involved here, one in critical condition. Let's go back to King 5's Sebastian Robertson at Harborview Medical Center. Sebastian.
Good news to report about that 9-year-old boy that so many of you were asking about. The severity of his condition has been downgraded. We can now report that his condition is satisfactory, down from serious. One of 7 people shot near 3rd and Pine. So let's look at what we know so far. 7 people were injured by gunfire after that shooting on 3rd and Pine. 3 of them remain in the hospital. 4 have been discharged, including one man in his 40s that was grazed by a bullet. He was discharged just a few hours after the shooting. Meanwhile, Harborview may just be one of the best places for a situation like this. They prepare for mass shooting drills like this. They're a level 1 trauma center, and as we head into the early morning hours, they say they were prepared and remain prepared for a long night.
And some of these patients, depending on the level of injury, might even be treated and released, especially the patients that had a grazing type of injury. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see that. And then others will be admitted. It just depends on the depth of the injury and if there's anything that's required. Some people might need to be monitored, some might need further surgery, and some might not need anything at all and go home.
Here is a breakdown of the 7 people that were injured. A 9-year-old male, now in satisfactory condition versus serious. That's that 9-year-old boy I was talking about. A 21-year-old man has been discharged. 32-year-old man remains in satisfactory condition. A 34 and 35-year-old men have been discharged, and a 49-year-old has also been discharged. A 55-year-old woman, she just may be the most serious of all. She was rushed into surgery, and she remains critical. But overwhelmingly, good news. Of the 7 people admitted to the hospital after this shooting, or taken to the hospital after this shooting, we can now say that 4 have been discharged, and attention now turns to those remain, and hopefully we'll have more news to share as we head into tomorrow. Back to you.
Well, that really is good news that 4 have been released. Sebastian, thank you. Harborview says it is prepared for situations like this, and unfortunately is seeing more and more gunshot victims.
Well, unfortunately, we've been through this drill before, and we've had a lot of instances to prepare. I mean, we're the level 1 trauma center. We're 24/7. We have to be ready for any type of situation, and often we're seeing, frankly, a lot of gunshot wound victims coming our way. It's more common. It's sad to see. I've worked here 20 years, and it's sad to see the increase in shootings that are happening and what it does to families, what it does to patients. It's not only the physical, but it's the mental when they leave here.
Again, 7 victims were taken to Harborview, including a 9-year-old boy, and as Sebastian just told us, 4 have been released tonight. Well, as we've heard, hundreds of people were in the busy part of downtown as this all unfolded. It was just after 5 o'clock. People were getting off work, heading home for the day. King 5's Vanessa Mishania spoke with witnesses.
We're here right in front of the McDonald's where the shooting happened, and police have cleared out and the cleanup process has begun. It's a much different scene than it was hours ago. A window obviously shot out, is being repaired right now. And I spoke to witnesses who were here the time gunshots rang. Here's what they had to say.
And I heard pop, 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 pop. And then everybody started running into the Walgreens and everything. And then when I came out, the police started coming over there, and
we heard one shot go off. We weren't sure if it was a bus running over something, and then all of a sudden just shots rang out, about 10 to 15 shots, one after another, like boom, 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 boom. And immediately after the shots stopped, me and about 2 other people ran back to the area and seen 4 people just laid out on the ground.
Right. But the deal of it is, this is 3rd Avenue. We got a lot of issues. We got a lot of mental health issues. We got a lot of drug issues. There's people selling drugs right down the street. All right. So all of this stuff is why we having this. All right. I don't know why the police can't clean it up. I have no idea. But I know this is unacceptable.
That man that you just heard from, his name is Glenn, and he did not witness it, but he was stuck in the gridlock trying to get home after the shooting, and he lives near this area. He walks through it frequently, and although we don't know the motives behind the shooter or what the events that led to this shooting was, we do know that a lot of people here in this area are just sick of the crime that has taken place at 3rd Avenue, the reputation that it's gotten, and they want to see some change. In Seattle, Vanessa Mishania, King 5 News.
Vanessa, thank you. So today's shooting happened right in the heart of downtown Seattle, and tonight we are hearing from the Downtown Seattle Association. It released a statement on the shooting saying their hearts go out to the victims, adding the heart of our city should feel safe and welcoming for all who live, work, and visit here. We call on public officials to devote the resources necessary to improve safety in downtown and take back 3rd Avenue from the criminals who have laid claim to it. Seattle Police Chief Carmen Best briefly talked about those concerns tonight.
We have had a number of officers deployed in this area, as you know, for some time on emphasis patrols.
So to give you some perspective, this is an area that really had a long history of violence. In 2016, 4 years ago, 5 people were shot outside of a convenience store right in that same area, 3rd and Pine. Just hours before today's shooting, a Seattle police officer shot a man at 3rd and Blanchard, just a few blocks away. He was taken to the hospital. And yesterday at Westlake Center, a man was shot in a stairwell and he died last night.
Within hours of this tragedy, some are already reaching out with their hearts.
I came down here, I catch the light rail, and I heard about the shooting and that a 9-year-old boy went to the hospital, and I just thought flowers would be nice.
Yeah. So you didn't see it, but
I didn't see it, no.
It impacted you.
Yeah, of course it did. I come down these streets every day, and to hear that there's been 2 shootings just right here, that's horrible. That's horrific.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what a gesture there. So police still looking for those responsible. And SPD has a tip line set up for today's shooting. Anyone who saw it, who is in the area, if you have any information you think is pertinent to the case, call the tip line. It's 206-233-5000.
You can find that number, also much more of our coverage at king5.com. Also our King 5 mobile app. We hope you have that. It's easy to download too. Just text the word app to us. We'll send it to you. We'll be right back.